Hello and welcome to Vision Masters. Woo, we're so excited. We have a
Thank you, thank you.
thank you.
I've been recruited as the table topics master, I believe.
Yeah. I think Wes is going to be able to do that so she can get her project because we have Shaquille from
Yes,
Hmm.
they
India.
are recruiting.
To
Yeah, I already told him, so he's gonna do the table topic.
are you going to do your project?
No, I'm not doing it for a project. I'm not.
Oh, okay. So JC Loom will be our table topics master. Great. So we're gonna call this meeting to order. Kawaza is under the weather, President Kawaza. So we send him some love and light. Let's see. And tonight we have a very special event planned. Both Hank and Michelle are completing their level 2 today. Woohoo! Excellent, excellent. And we have a special speaker, guest speaker, uh, Dee Marie Shai King, who's our area director for Vision Masters. And let me get the agenda up here. Hold on. There we go. Agenda. Okay. So it's going to be 16 minutes. 15. It's going to be 15 minutes for the guest speaker. So Shaquille. It's going to be green at 13 minutes, yellow at 14 minutes, and red at 15 minutes. Do you have that, Shaquille? And do you have the background colors?
Yeah, I have got the background colors. I would like to just check.
Yes. And then we're going to have a Q&A afterward for 6 minutes. It's going to be green at 6 and yellow at 7 and red at 8. So you see the colors there.
I
The
hope
green one. Oh, can you raise your hand, please, Shaquille, electronically? That will bring you up to the front.
Uh,
Okay, great. And then we can spotlight Miss Dee Marie. And we'll spotlight me too while I read your ad spotlight, while I read your introduction. Dee Marie Shai King is the area director of 5 clubs in D3 of District 57. She is a 2-time Triple Crown winner for 2022, 2023 in 2 different districts here in District 57 and also in District 46 in New York. She is a published author, a mental health professional, a legislative lobbyist for mental health services in the USA. She's an international motivational speaker, international organizer of the Domestic Violence Summit. She's a certified domestic violence facilitator and founder and CEO of Victory Over Violence, LLC, where she is a global advocate for victims of domestic violence. Dee Marie will speak from the Successful Club Series. Dee Marie will guide us through a riveting discovery of how strategically chosen words can be used when critiquing someone else's speech that helps them, but can also serve to motivate the evaluator and enhance qualities for both individuals. Her speech title is Can I Have a Sandwich? Dee Marie Shai King, Can I Have a Sandwich? Can I Have a Sandwich? Dee Marie Shai King. Please welcome her.
When was the last time you asked, "Can I have a sandwich?" When you think back about asking that question, what you had reference to was this morsel of food that comes between two slices of bread with lettuce, tomatoes, and mayonnaise, and some other kind of meat or what have you. The sandwich that I refer to is far from that. In the world of Toastmasters International, we know what a sandwich is. It's a method that's used to evaluate a speaker. We are to say something great, stretch goals, and compliment that speech again. But tonight, I'm going to take the sandwich far beyond just imagine and evaluating a speech. The sandwich that I refer to has to do with the Successful Club Series. And the Successful Club Series is founded or rated upon 5 different components. The first component is membership. No club can function, grow, or become dynamic without members. So seeking members and inviting people to join the organization is an ever-present, ongoing task, chore, labor of love that should be followed at all times. After membership, we look at club administration, and that has to do with the officers knowing and fulfilling their roles and being enthusiastic about the job that they're doing as service to their club, doing that in a professional manner with integrity, and also because they want to see the club grow. And they know that their leadership plays a huge role in making sure that the growth is present. Then we have public relations or promotion. No club can function and grow without public relations. The club should be seen on social media. There should be flyers put out when there's a major event. There is an opportunity to have open houses, which will help to grow the membership and the club. So we're at MAP, which is a map, a roadmap to lead anyone through a successful club strategy. After the P, which, as I mentioned, was public relations, we have another A, and that A is activity on behalf of the members. You have to remain active with that club. You have to get in there and give it all you've got, find your niche or niche, as some people call it, and have everyone understand how enthusiastic you are about being a part of that organization. A successful club depends on the activities of everyone who is a member of that organization. And then we have another M, and that's management. Superior management, cooperation, and facilitation between the officers is crucial. The club has to be managed. We have things that help us to get there. The MOT, moments of truth. And that's when you take a deep dive and you actually look at what is going on with your organization. And you have a chance to hear what the members think in terms of the moment of truth. Where are we? What can we do better? What have we done well? Why haven't we achieved this goal or that goal? Moments of truth is a look in the mirror as to what's happening at your club. Then the last goal would be education. So what I have done is started with membership. And in my interpretation, that membership is the first slice of bread that forms that sandwich. And education is the binding slice of bread. And in the middle, you have the meat, the structure of the club, and how you plan to see things move forward. But in education, oh my goodness, education can play a crucial role in helping a club to grow and maintain the status that it has or strive to be better. The DCP points, which decide whether or not a club is Distinguish, Select, or President's Distinguish. The earning of those points, you set the goals, and now you're going to go out there and do the work to acquire the points needed to achieve either one of those goals. In education, I am so excited and proud to say that as a member of the education team at Leaders Worldwide, we have had a phenomenal run to this point. I am the VPP. Now, let me explain, this is not an official Toastmasters Vice President position. But District 57 decided they would try an experiment to see what would happen if someone were given the designation of VPP. That is the Vice President of Pathways. I guess they chose the right person because I am so passionate about Pathways and Toastmasters that I just get excited talking about it. Pathways is an automatic way for any member to get involved, to get excited, to get enthusiastic, and to see themselves grow. By doing the pathways, paths, and the different levels, I heard that 2 members of this club, Vision Masters, is going to be achieving their level 2. That's huge. That is huge. That means that someone has decided, I understand this process, I'm all in, and let me see what I can do. And they have done it. Tremendous. But as the VPP at Leaders Worldwide, working on the education department's team with our Vice President of Education, collaboratively, we have been able to partner, mentor, and assist members of our club in achieving the goals that they have set for themselves. I am so humbled because as I stand before you tonight, this morning, this evening, wherever you might be around the world, I can submit to you that we have achieved phenomenal things in the education department. So education can be like the glue that helps to hold the organization together. Because once you get people enthused to join your club, what are we going to be doing? What is there for me? How do I achieve the things that I set out to do? And so many people will come up to you and say, what is Toastmasters? I've heard about that Toastmasters thing. What do y'all do? What is that? Oh my God. When they ask that question, they have spoken to the right person. I became a recipient of the Triple Crown Award in 2 different districts in the fiscal year of 22-23. And this is what the award looks like. I didn't know that I was actually going to end up with a plaque that had my name and all that on it. I went to my P.O. box, and when I picked up that plaque, I thought, oh my God, oh my goodness. I had been running around several social media platforms just touting everything that I could think of about Toastmasters. And I began to say, people are probably saying, what is she talking about? We don't know that she's doing all those things that she's telling us. When I got that award, there is one platform that I visit on a regular basis, and it's Clubhouse. And on that platform, you have an opportunity to have your picture as your bio anytime you show up on Clubhouse. I could not wait to change my picture out and put that award in as my bio picture. For me, that was validation. That was confirmation. That was my authenticity piece. And did you know that the word authenticity or authentic was the word for 2023, last year? That was the word of the year. So many people had used ChatGTP or AI and created all these fictitious things. Everyone started to say, oh, we need to get back to authenticity. So when you show up as your authentic self, and I needed to validate myself with Toastmasters. Now, when I speak about Toastmasters in those same circles, they know that I am speaking from a place of actuality and authenticity. To be authentic in your club, you simply have to show up with integrity, with respect for yourself and your fellow man. Be someone who wants to render service to that club, and also demand excellence. And when you achieve the first 3 goals, the excellence is automatic. So when we think about successful club strategies, the 5 core strategies that are followed, the acronym is MAP Me. And I thought that was cute. Map me, follow me, know that I know where I am going. And then we can map our club as well, because we can look at where we are, see if we've attained the DCP points, and then sit down and come to a moment of truth. And that moment of truth allows you to say, oh, we didn't achieve what we wanted to in that area, so let's see if we can improve. And by doing that, whatever officer has an opportunity to step up and serve can say, well, I'll do this. I'll see if I can't get more of that done. Open houses are an excellent way to bring in new members. And when you bring in those new members, education, membership has to step in and help those members chart the path that they want to follow. What are you aspiring to do? What do you want to accomplish by being a member of Toastmasters? I wasn't clear on where I was going. And then I decided, oh my goodness, there's something called a DTM. I want that. I definitely want that. So when I found out about the DTM, which is Distinguished Toastmaster, and that out of the over 280,000 to 340,000 members worldwide, only 1% ever achieve the Distinguished Toastmaster status. I was intrigued, I was motivated, and I was passionate. I stand before you tonight to say that on June 30th of 2024, I will become a Distinguished Toastmaster. I am humbled, I'm excited, and I am so grateful because the passion that was activated within me just by understanding what Pathways had to offer allowed me to align my personal life with Toastmasters. I never dreamed that Toastmasters would have an impact on my personal life. And how did that happen? On the journey and on the road to becoming a Distinguished Toastmaster, there is something called the DTM Project. And I thought, what is the DTM Project? Anyone who is aspiring to be a Toastmaster has to be able to pull together a major, very major component demonstrating their leadership abilities and the fact that they understand what a servant leader is, what leadership entails. I decided, okay, so I will combine my passion and commitment as an advocate of domestic violence for domestic violence victims, along with having a DTM project. I had no idea where it was going. I thought, oh my goodness. I told myself this in like June, and I said, it's going to have to be October or November before I can pull this together. But as I began to speak with Toastmasters members and other people in the community, they got on board. And by July, I had a full slew of people. Now I understand the longevity of enthusiasm and excitement. It is not that long. So I said, oh, I've got to make this happen. I can't wait until October. So on August 11th, 2023, the first annual Domestic Violence Summit was held in Nashville, Tennessee. There were participants from around the globe, Canada, India, Malaysia, and Belize, and all across the United States. Talk about somebody being humbled. I was totally humbled. But because I needed a project as someone who was on their journey to become a DTM, that fit the bill. Today, I stand before you to tell you that we will be having a second annual Domestic Violence Summit in October, which is Domestic Violence Month. So as you can see, if you decide to commit yourself, if you align yourself with all the privileges and components and competencies that are present within your club, the sky is the limit. What sandwich are you reaching for? A peanut butter and jelly sandwich? A bacon and tomato sandwich? Or do you want the sandwich that will allow you to become a successful member in your club? I suggest you choose that sandwich. The top slice of bread is membership, and the bottom slice of bread in that sandwich is education. And in the middle of those two slices of bread are all the wonderful things that will allow you to become a more dynamic communicator and a phenomenal dynamic leader. Are you game? Will you join me? I invite you to step up and take your chance in your club as you help to make your club more successful. Mr. Timer.
Woo! Big round of applause for Area Director DeMarie Shy King. Wow, 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 wow. So we're gonna take 8 minutes now. If on the timer, it's gonna be 6 minutes is green, 7 minutes is yellow, and 8 minutes is red. And we're gonna take some questions. You can put your questions in the chat or just raise your hand. And I'm looking at all you now. So does anyone?
So I have a question. Can I ask a question? So you started out talking about the sandwich. I mean the ideal sandwich, the club sandwich. Oh, the club sandwich. I've seen that on a menu before. So tell me again, what are the levels of the sandwich? What's on the top, what's on the bottom, what's on the middle?
That's a perfect question, Mike. At the top of that sandwich is membership. You can't have anything without members, and that is the supporting part of the club. Because by bringing in new members, you are infusing the club with new blood, new ideas, new passions, new commitments, people who are enthusiastic because they heard what somebody said and they bought into it. And on the bottom of that sandwich is education. Because once you get the people in your club, they want to know, now what can I do with this? Where can I take it? Where am I going? Pathways is the perfect inside of that sandwich to help take the person where you want them to go. And on the inside of that sandwich are the other 3 components for a successful club series. And those components are management, promotion or PR, and then you have another E, which is enthusiasm and evaluation. You evaluate to motivate. And when you evaluate a person the way we do at Toastmasters, it's designed to motivate the individual to achieve their greatest and not to tear them down.
And that's the MAP-Me?
Yes.
Say the MAP-Me. What does MAP-Me stand for again?
The MAP-Me is an acronym that stands for the components of the Successful Club Series. And what that is membership, administration, promotion or PR, education, and educational activities where the person gets involved with the organization. And the last me is management. So you've got an M for membership, and then the last M is for management, and the E is for education. And with all those combined, you've mixed up a sandwich to die for. I don't know how it would taste, and I don't know if you'd have to use mayonnaise to help flavor it, but boy, you have a sandwich.
Wonderful.
Once you learn all the pieces, it's easy to keep track of.
Any other questions? And her MAP-Me acronym.
So I'm curious about this Domestic Violence Summit. Were you in charge of that?
Oh my God. I had no idea where I was going. I did have a committee, members of Toastmasters, several, and then a community person, a doctor out of the community, stepped in at a point where I was at my wit's end. I thought, I don't have a Zoom master. I can't work this by myself. It's going to be a virtual presentation. One of the professors at the college where my daughter works said, oh, I got your back. He came in and played the music for me. He set up, oh my goodness, everything. So it was a collaborative effort, but it followed my passion because as a psychiatric registered nurse for some 25 plus years, I saw the after effects of domestic violence. It tears the core family apart. And something has to be done to help pull the family back together. The part that tugs at my heart is to know that children who oftentimes and in most instances follow the mother, she flees going to a domestic violence shelter. And when she gets there, she can only be there for 1 to 2 months. After that time, she has to find somewhere to go. But while she's there, those children go to school every day from that domestic violence shelter. And then in so many cases, the whole family is now at a homeless shelter. And this information was just reported in the news. And I knew that I was not assuming it. They said that so many children are going to school every day from a homeless shelter. So that tears my heart apart. I am working to try and add some kind of impact and resource in 2024 that will impact the homeless situation for the survivors of domestic violence. I have a website that is being developed as we speak, where I talk about how a partner and myself rehabbed a single family home. We had always wanted to do this, and we had the opportunity to do it, and we netted a gross profit of over $100,000. If we can do that, anybody can do that. And the proceeds from that website, in large part, will go towards securing and helping to find some kind of resource for the survivors of domestic violence who find themselves homeless. That was a great question, Mike.
Wow. And how does this tie into your DTM project again? Is this your DTM project, or is it just,
That was the DTM project,
wow?
having the domestic violence summit that I wasn't, oh my goodness. I was so humbled because we received a letter from the mayor of the city of Nashville. It was the first time that a domestic violence summit had been presented in Nashville, and the mayor sent us a letter welcoming us to the city. Mike, I was humbled in so many ways. All of it came together. And had I not had the competencies and the guidance and the leadership skills that are present in Pathways, I have no idea where that would have gone. But I am so grateful and so humbled that it worked out well. And I can actually give credit to Toastmasters.
Wow. That's awesome.
Thank you so much for asking that.
Any other question? Well, thank you so much, Dee Marie. That was just amazing. Would you like to give us some parting words?
Oh my goodness. If you have an opportunity, if there is anything that you can do, if you know someone who may be a victim of domestic violence, the slogan that we have for 2024 is if you see something, do something. And what you can do is dial the domestic violence hotline, 800-799-7233. And what that does is it allows you an opportunity to report what it is that you heard or saw. It's an anonymous call. They're not asking for your name. But I implore you, if someone is being physically abused in your presence and there is a danger that they may be violently hurt, dial 911 and help them immediately. Thank you so much.
Was there a number like something for a child or something like that?
That is for child abuse. Yes. 1-800-4-CHILD.
Oh, 1-800 for a child. Okay.
That was Carrie's
Yes, it
hotline.
was.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
So you have 2 hotlines now. I love it.
3, because don't forget 911 is always there.
No. Beautiful. So now let's just take 1 minute of silence so our evaluator, Mike, can write down his notes and send Dee Marie some private messages about her presentation, what you liked, and yeah, give her some private kudos. And if you could have 1 minute on the clock. Is that 1 minute? Shaquille?
Yes, it is.
Okay, awesome. Well, next up, we're going to have another speaker, but first, I'd like to welcome our guest because we didn't get time to do that at the beginning. We have guest Luem. Hi, Luem. Where are you calling in from? Or zooming in from?
Hi, good morning.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And where are you in the world?
I'm at school. Yeah, I was teaching just now and I just received your invitation email. Yeah, that's why I came in late.
Great, I'm glad you could be here. And you're calling in from Borneo in Malaysia, the Isle of Borneo. Beautiful tropical Borneo. Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Shehan Paul, where are you calling in from?
Hi everyone, I'm Shehan calling, zooming in from Sri Lanka. Yeah, it's morning for me, so good evening for you guys, and good afternoon and good morning to everyone who's joining all around the world.
Wonderful. Welcome, welcome. So glad you're here. You were here last week too. Love to have you come and visit. Yeah, great. And then, well, JC, you haven't been in a long time. You're not a guest, but you haven't been in a long time. So welcome.
Thank you very much.
I have been in Africa for a year and 7 months.
Oops.
I'm back.
You're back. I love it. I love it that you're back. And that's Wes Sahai's husband, JC Loam. Yeah, so they're both on Zoom at the same time. So great. The next speaker we have is Michelle Waufle, and she is going to be completing her level 2 today. Woohoo! Let me read her introduction. And did you have another speech title? I just put leadership styles as your speech title.
Oh, the number one mindset book you read daily.
Say again?
The number one mindset book you read daily.
You read daily. Wow. The number one mindset book you read daily. I'll try to remember that. So Michelle Waufle is a newly returning Toastmaster, and today she is completing her strategic relationships level 2. Michelle Waufle, the number one mindset book you read daily. Is that right? It's a long title to be remembered by memory. The number one mindset book you read daily. Michelle Waufle. Please welcome her.
Thank you. First thing I want to bring to your attention this morning, I cannot see myself right now at all. Can you see me and hear me? There we go. Hello, everyone. I just want to talk to you a little bit about the repetition of the law of learning. You know, the repetition of the law of learning dates back 3000 BC. We don't pay a lot of attention of what we're feeding ourselves on a daily basis. From the time we wake up till the time we go to sleep, it is our responsibility to choose our thoughts, the people we hang around with, the music we listen to, the television that we have in front of us, the movies we watch, the video games we play. But how many people just kind of wake up and go through the motions? They have no intentions They just ride the wave. And then sometimes they don't understand why they have ups and downs and ups and downs and ups and downs and ups and downs, because they're not taking personal responsibility for their mindset. It's very, very interesting about how much our mindset has to do with everything that we see, everything that we smell, everything that we taste, everything that we hear, everything that we feel within our hearts, but also everything that we feel when we're touching something. All of these things have a huge impact on how you are feeling each and every day. Think about it for a second. How do you feel when somebody just smiles at you? How do you feel when somebody's just like really angry and coming at you? All of these things not only impact ourselves, but we have to take personal responsibility for having our personal attitudes and our mindset affecting others. So many times we just are just going and going without taking the time to put ourselves in the best state of mind ever. Can you imagine having a simple tool that does that every single day of your life? What about those times that you wake up in the morning and you have just the most productive morning, and then you get exposed to one of those people that just suck you dry? Or then you start focusing on that, and then it just gets worse and worse and worse. And it just seems like your whole entire day just goes awful. And then you're just like, oh, but I've got tomorrow. What if you had right now? What if you knew at that very moment that you started to go down, that you took personal responsibility to use a simple tool that brought you back, and you didn't have to wait till tomorrow, but you could have it right now? Why do we have to wait till tomorrow? Is that another programming download like that miserable Monday that everybody talks about? I started trading all of that as my motivational Monday and my tremendous Tuesday, and make it happen on Wednesday. I wasn't going to let any of these programmings and these downloads that just get caught up in our brain, and we just start acting them out because like we're following along with the crowd instead of taking personal responsibility for our daily mindset. Can you imagine how easy and effortless it could be if we just had a simple tool? Well, you see, we can change our frequency in a moment's notice. You see, Albert Einstein said, whatever it is that you want, match the frequency of what you want, and you can't help but to get what you want. It can be no other way. This isn't philosophy, it's the laws of physics. Jesus Christ says, whatever you ask for in prayer, you'll receive if you believe. Buddha says, what you feel is what you experience. There's so many other leaders that are saying the exact same thing. Ancient information that's been here forever and ever and ever. And we're still following along with the crowd, and complaining about our days when we can instantly change our whole entire frequency. Our imagination is such a gift. Close your eyes, everyone. I want you to take yourself back to the most amazing moments of your life. Everybody smiles when they do this. It's the best thing ever, because that is how incredibly easy it is. You see, when you close your eyes and you bring yourself to the happiest moments of your life, you're instantly bringing that vibration and frequency within yourself. Now, spend more time there. And how do you see it? How do you hear it? Is there a taste to it? What do you feel inside? What do you feel around you? Are you at the beach? Is there a temperature? You see, the more we practice bringing ourselves here, And then connecting that to the goals that we have in life and bringing that frequency into anything that you want to accomplish on a daily basis. It's almost like practicing breath. And at that moment, you can be going through a good time or a bad time, but taking personal responsibility of changing that frequency, understanding that that is what's going to shift you to feeling exactly what you want to feel. The more you practice it, the more effortless it becomes. The more you bring yourself there in your imagination, the more it becomes a part of your daily life. So keep practicing the #1 mindset book you read daily. Thank you very much.
Big round of applause. Woo!
Thank you.
Wonderful. Let's take a moment of silence, a minute of silence for our evaluator. And then enter your comments in the chat to Michelle privately or to everyone. Yeah. Oh, we don't have our evaluator. She didn't come, but we can do a round robin when it comes time. So think of your comments. Amazing speeches we have tonight.
1 minute is up.
Okay. And next up, we have Hank Cartwright, who's also finishing his team collaboration level #2 tonight. Woo! Excellent. And for our club, 2 level 2s equals 1 goal. And we need, I think that's going to give us goal number 6 out of 10 goals. And so we're already distinguished, but we're on our way to select distinguished. So stay tuned for that. Well, boy, that would be amazing if we would be select distinguished or even president's distinguished this year. Wow. So Hank Cartwright tonight will be talking about tales of an ICU nurse during COVID. And he's doing his pathways. Oh, Michelle, would you like to read the objectives for Hank's speech? Yeah, since you're the evaluator. And you're on mute. You're on mute. Michelle, you're on mute. Michelle, you're on mute.
I am so sorry. Let's
problem.
welcome Hank Cartwright doing team collaboration in his pathways, completing level 2. His project title is Tales of an ICU Nurse During COVID. Let's welcome Henry Cartwright.
Woohoo! Thank you very much. Okay,
you.
so Hank, we're going to read your amazing bio. Remove the spotlight. Okay, and your bio. Let's see. Hank Cartwright is the nephew of Dr. Wade Cartwright, who couldn't be here tonight. He's our VP of membership and our secretary for Vision Masters, and he's a speechcraft coordinator. He is Hank is a registered ICU nurse in Detroit, Michigan. His interests include working out, as you can see in his background, he's in his gym, and trying new ice cream. That sounds delicious. Today will be his 6th speech with Vision Masters Toastmasters Club, and Hank is also completing his level 2 team collaboration. Please welcome Hank Cartwright, Tales from an ICU nurse during COVID. Tales from an ICU nurse during COVID. Hank Cartwright.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm going to talk about some of my experiences as an ICU nurse during the COVID-19 pandemic, and also some of my experiences with one of my mentors at the time in the ICU. He was also an ICU nurse who was in charge and one of the more senior nurses at the time. Now, a mentor offers encouragement and guidance so that we can follow as proteges while we're working to accomplish our goals, whatever they may be. And they can share their experiences, their wisdom and knowledge while we build our foundation and build our skills as we work our way along our career path. And even though at the time in 2020, I was already an experienced nurse and already had years of ICU experience, it was a great experience for me to still have a protege who was even more experienced and who had seen and done things that I had not had done and seen before. And so I learned that there's always opportunities to learn and to grow, even if you already have some experience under your belt. And also in this situation, I was relatively new at this hospital, so it definitely helped to know somebody who kind of knew their way around who kind of knew people and knew and kind of had some more experience in that new environment. And so overall, I'd say it definitely helps, no matter the situation, to have someone to kind of look up to and to have who is already doing what you would like to do, to serve as an example. And also it helps when we all work together. Now, yeah, I'm sure many of you remember, if you're like me, that back in 2020, doing things that everybody was doing, almost everyone was doing at the time to try to stay safe. So raise your hand if you remember spraying packages with disinfectant before bringing them into the house, or washing your hands for 20 seconds while singing the happy birthday song to yourself to make sure that you're washing your hands long enough. In addition to that, and the wearing masks and social distancing, there were a lot of other things we were trying to do to just stay as safe as we could. But despite all of our efforts, the CDC reported that there were over 350,000 deaths in 2020 related to COVID. And in addition to that, there was a nearly 17% increase in deaths from accidents and unintentional injuries. And in addition to that, 15% increase in deaths from diabetes. So that all of that is shows us that what many of us already learned is that even without a COVID infection, you had almost everyone was affected by this pandemic. And as an ICU nurse, I remember watching as on the news as infection spread all over the world. And it felt like, at first it made its way from China then to the United States, and then around the world, and then finally to my hospital and my ICU. And I remember it, for all of us, it felt like the floodwaters were rising they were low to our ankle, then our waist, and then finally up to our neck and still rising. And eventually we were running out of PPE, we were running out of equipment, and we had to all work together just to do what we could to take care of our patients. And I remember, driving to work and during rush hour, and looking around and not seeing not one driver on the road, and feeling like I was in one of those end of the world movies. Now, there was one with Will Smith in particular where he's the last man alive and driving, and the only person driving down the road. And I didn't, and really nobody knew exactly what was going to happen next. Now, my hospital had 5 ICUs, and mine was the third in line to start receiving COVID patients. So we weren't overwhelmed right away, but I remember hearing during the night as patients became sicker, as they went from the emergency department to the regular floor, and eventually became they needed ICU care. I remember hearing on the PA system, anesthesia stat with intubation to room 5428. Anesthesia stat with intubation to room 4132. And as these patients were intubated, which means their breathing tube was put into their lungs, and then they were hooked up to a ventilator to help them breathe. Now, after that, they were brought to the ICU. And within a week, my ICU went from no COVID patients to half full to completely filled up with every bed, virtually every bed with the COVID, with very sick COVID patients. And I remember there was one night in particular when a bed opened up. Unfortunately, most of the COVID patients from our first wave did not survive, and so when one patient expired, we had an open room, and there were more patients waiting in the emergency department waiting to come up, and there was an exceptionally sick patient, and so I remember getting the call and hearing some really some pretty serious description of the situation. This patient was already in respiratory distress. He had been intubated, and he had a cardiac arrest in the emergency department, and they brought him back with CPR. But now they were bringing him up with multiple IV medications running, and he was very unstable. But with our room already overwhelmed, we just did not have enough IV pumps on the unit. And so first I mentioned my mentor, who was a very seasoned nurse there. He was in charge, and I mentioned to them that I can't find any more IV pumps. And in the middle of all this, I remember he was able to stay very calm and very cool. And so he just said, "Okay, well, look around the unit and find some, and I'm sure you might find one somewhere." And I did that, and I didn't find a single one anywhere because they were all being used, because every patient needed them. And so I came back and I mentioned it again that I couldn't find any. And then he didn't really lose his cool. And he said, well, he thought for a second. He said, "Okay, I'll make a phone call." And so he went over to the office. He picked up the phone, and he was able to and he called an equipment room. There was I guess he knew somebody. Fortunately, he knew someone who manages the extra equipment in the hospital, and he asked him, and he was able to find that there were and extra pumps were sent to a regular floor that had some extra pumps. And so I was able to go over there and actually pick up an extra pump for my patient before he arrived. And I remember seeing that example where he never really lost his cool. He never really, even though there was a serious situation, he always maintained he was calm. And also, even more than that, it reminded me that when we worked together, having relationships with people, even people who are not nurses, even people who are not necessarily working in the same department as you. It can be very valuable to have connections with lots of people. And in this case, knowing someone was able well, was critical for getting the equipment that we needed to prepare for a critical patient arriving. And so he had, in this case, he had the wisdom and connections that helped to get better results, and that showed me that we get better results when we work together.
Right.
Okay, back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much. Wow. Networking and mentoring saved a life. Wow. Wow. So important. If we can have 1 minute on the clock for our evaluator, Michelle Waufle, please. Thank you. And write your messages to Hank and let him know what you thought of his speech.
One minute is over.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. And if you could share the table topics timing, please. This is the table topics timing. So this is the time for you to
Yeah,
practice your impromptu speaking, including our guests.
yeah. Actually, I will be writing the green light or green color background when 1 minute is there of the impromptu table topic session. In 1.5 minutes, I will be changing the color to yellow, and then at 2 minutes, I will be changing the color to red. Uh, and you will have 30 seconds to just wrap up your speech. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Great. Thank you so much. And we want to welcome JC Loom. It says West Side. That's his wife. But JC is going to be doing our table topics tonight. And if you could call on a member that doesn't have a role, I think that's Barbara Mariano. She's just about the only member that doesn't have a role tonight. And then if you could call on a couple of our guests. Take it away. Please welcome JC Loom.
Okay, thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Yes, I'm usually aware of the fact that if you don't have a role, you will be the last to be called. That said, our theme today is evaluation and leadership. Barbara, I'm going to call upon you to answer this question. I want you to tell us, Barbara, how to do a good evaluation as specified in the Toastmasters International Manual. How to do a good evaluation. Take it over, Barbara.
I'm having trouble because I'm losing some of your words. So I need to hear the question again.
And Barbara's a new member, and so she hasn't done evaluations yet. So if we could ask her a different question, that would be great. She's been evaluated before, but she's never given an evaluation.
True.
Or you could ask someone else the same question.
Okay, sorry about that. Some technical issues here. Okay, Barbara, I just got informed that you're brand new. So you might not qualify for the first question, but I have a good one for you, Barbara. If you had to teach something, what would you teach? If you were to teach something, what would you teach? Take it over.
That's easy. I teach Reiki and I teach animal communications. So I love to work with animals. And I love to share that knowledge with others so that they can have a better relationship with their animals, whether it be domestic or wild. And I like to show them how to step into the paws or hoofs or skin of an animal, and or, you know, a dolphin, okay, a water baby, doesn't really matter. The idea is that from my perspective, we are all energy, and the animals, if given the opportunity to connect with somebody who's listening through that intuitive sense, they get excited. There is a connection, and I help people in the classes feel the connection. And it's really exciting, and oh, I don't know, I get excited just saying it. So the whole point is that we can communicate with anything. And because I grew up in the woods in upstate New York, I had nothing to communicate with except the nature. So pretty much. And so my gift is not only the Reiki healing work, but working with animals that have died, they're on the other side, and helping people to connect with their animals, whether in person or on the other side. And the goal is to have everybody's intuitive. So we're all in this boat together, and it's just listening from a different place. So that's my joy being here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That one came very natural to you, didn't it? Okay, let me call upon Shihan. Shihan Paul.
Hi
Are you
there.
ready for this one?
Yes, I am.
How old are you?
I'm 24.
Oh, perfect one for you. Yeah, when you are 80 years old, what would matter to you the most? When you are 80 years old, what would matter to you the most? It over.
I remember the journey that I had so far in life. I remember how difficult it was. Coming from a rural background, learning to speak, and going around the world. And that's how a 24-year-old came out to be. Table topic master, fellow Toastmasters, and guest. When I was a little child, when I was 3 years old, I remember how my father's passing away hit my mother's economy. She became a dairy farmer. That's the only thing that she could do. And she wanted me to have the best education. So since she sent me to the best school in the island, 80 kilometers away from my hometown. And that was my school life. Every day, 76 precise kilometers to travel just to get good education. And then everybody was saying, your son was going to the school in the city. Why? Just be here. Why are you trying to catch the stars? Everybody was pushing me to say that you have to be happy with what you have. And then the journey that I had, my mom wanted me to study English, speak in English, and learn English, and to be universal. Go out there in the world and tell that everybody that none of us cannot do it. All of us can do it if we work together. So the story that I wanted to share, that even that boy who used to travel 76 kilometers every day just to get a basic education, and who was told learning English is not good for him. When I'm 80, I want to tell this story to someone and tell that you can do that as well. Another boy in an island in different parts of the world who might be deprived of basic education, I want to tell them, you can do it too, regardless of whatever you are, whoever you are, wherever you come from. Everybody, just believe in it. All of us can do it. That's what I want to do when I'm 80. Tell them my story to someone and tell that they can do it too.
Wow, wonderful. I just loved that answer. Madam Toastmaster, how much time do we have?
We're just about out of time. We could have one more if you want.
Okay.
We're running short on time.
Let me pick upon Paul. Paul. Oh, no. I mean Mike. Mike, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I have a good one for you. It was the first question in the first place. Okay, our theme is evaluation and leadership. I understand you're a club coach. Mike, I want you to tell us how to do a good evaluation as prescribed in the Toastmasters International Manual. Because evaluations are so important, and we always get a variation of it. Tell us a good one, how to do it. Take it over, Mike.
Thank you very much, Mr. Table Topics Master. The answer is sandwich. It's such a good speech about sandwiches, and that's what we do for evaluations. We look for some good things. I like to follow the 80-20 rule, 80% positive and 20% suggestions for improvement. So start off by finding some things that you can compliment the person for, then make an observation of an area of improvement, and then the other side of the sandwich is another good thing to say about them. And I've got to tell you, I really like your table topics, and I really like the answers that we've been giving too. And I like Dee Marie because she, like me, took the engaging humor pathway. And I thought I wanted to know if I could do stand-up comedy, and I found out I really couldn't, but I did find some good jokes once in a while that I like to share. I read one the other day about trampolines in Central Europe. Do you know why the Central European trampoline team declared bankruptcy? They bounced checks. Back to you, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Oh, my Lord. Well, that was great. I love that. Excellent participants. I love your answers. And by the way, I just want to make a quick comment before I give it back to the Toastmaster. Michelle, love your speech. You are a wonderful speaker. All our speakers are wonderful. I love the area director speech. And Mr. Cartwright too. However, I just wanted to point something out to you. Just an observation. Don't say thank you to us. We should say thank you to you. Take it over, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you. I know Toastmasters say don't say thank you, but every TED Talks ends in thank you. So I, for one, love thank you at the end of the speech. Thank you for those wonderful table topics, JC, and we're so glad to have you back. Awesome. And now we're going to have Mike Pruitt, our general evaluator, take it away.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. As general evaluator, I am the manager of the evaluation team. And for our evaluation team, we have 3 evaluators of the prepared speeches, and we have a timer. And we're going to get reports from all of them. I am the first evaluator. And let's see if I can get my screen here. Ah, that's what I like. Okay, thank you. My evaluation is of T. Marie Shai King and her speech, "Can I have a sandwich?" I love the way she ended up. What sandwich are you reaching for? Now, there's some things that I'm supposed to evaluate on my list here. One of them was how effective was her introduction. I thought her introduction was beautiful. It was in-depth, it was complete, told us a lot about her, that she had done all these amazing things. She's a published author, mental health professional, legislative lobbyist for mental health services, an international motivational speaker, international organizer of Domestic Violence Summit. That's really interesting. And so that really kind of prepared us to know more about her and where she's coming from. Another question here is, was she adequately prepared, and did she use her notes? And I couldn't tell that she was using any notes. What I saw was someone who was very passionate, and what she was talking about was very personal. It came from personal experience, and it just naturally flowed. She didn't even need any notes. One of the questions was about vocal variety. She had some vocal variety, a little bit slow, and a little bit fast, a little bit slow, a little bit fast. Could have done a little, maybe pauses to get people's attention, because it was a long speech, so get people to catch up with you for a minute. Other techniques. Dee Marie, you had more hand gestures than I have seen in a long time. It really takes an effort to do hand gestures when we're on Zoom, and you did a great job. Visuals, you didn't have any visuals, but you didn't need visuals. You had a lot of things that gave us visuals, like the sandwich. And I love to hear this. One of the stories you told us about, you were interested in becoming a DTM, and that only 1% of Toastmasters become DTMs, and you are on the path to do that. I'm really impressed with that, because I'm getting really close. Once I finish my club coach assignment, I just have to do a Toastmaster, a DTM project. So now you've given me some ideas. I appreciate that. Okay. Another question was, what did you use as a unique style? And I liked you kept coming back to the sandwich. Membership, education, and pathways in the middle. What did I like? I think what I liked most was your enthusiasm. You had a lot of enthusiasm for pathways and for your membership in Leaders Worldwide. That says a lot for them too. And I was very impressed that you had received the Triple Crown Award. I just learned about that today, and I think I might be able to get one of those. So I'm going to try that. And thank you for winding it up with the core values of Toastmasters: integrity, respect, service, excellence. Thank you very much. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator. Okay, thank you, Mike. Now, our next evaluator is someone to evaluate Michelle Waufle.
It's round robin.
We're going to have a round robin. Okay, why don't you start, Cynthia?
So what was it someone that has, what did you like about Michelle's speech? Anyone have their suggestion what they loved about Michelle's speech? I have loads of them. Yes, Barbara.
She made such a good point about taking responsibility for what you're thinking, basically. This is how I see it. And I think that is so important, you know. Before, I don't think I was that aware, and I'm hearing that a lot. But I love the way she presented. She's here somewhere, but I just don't see her. But the law of learning she mentioned, and choose our thoughts consciously. And it's a simple tool. And I love the part where we closed our eyes and thought of something that made us happy. And it took me back to ice skating back when I was a kid. So just loved the memory that showed up out of nowhere. So thank you, Michelle.
I love that. Thank you.
And are we timing 3 minutes on the clock?
Oh, do I get that much time?
No.
No.
Thank you. And now Shaquille, our timer, had a comment to make.
Actually, it was a very fascinating to listen to Toastmaster Michelle, because the way just she took all of us to the imagination world or happy memories. It's never easy. It's easier said than done. What she did was really captured the audience attention in all that way. And we all were just went down memory lane to our happy moments. And just I saw everybody was closing his or her eyes. I was a timer. I had to just skip the closing my eyes for some time. But hats off to you, madam. Over to you, Toastmasters.
Thank
Great.
you.
And Mike, I think we have time for one more, a stretch goal maybe. Do you have a stretch goal, JC?
What can I improve on?
Okay. Well, stretch goal. The only stretch goal, if I knew we had round robin, I wouldn't have made a comment, Michelle. This is the second time I'm listening to you speak. I've been gone for a while. Like I just said earlier, I'm a long-term member of this club. And I listened to your speech last week, and of course today. And I just think personally that you are a great speaker. The way you connect with us. I notice a lot. I can't talk about a lot because I just think you're a great speaker. And that's why I made that one comment, is to strike yourself. You know what? Don't say thank you. That's all. Other than that, you are the best. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
I appreciate you bringing that to my awareness, because I'm really focusing on winning this contest, and I need to know the rules of Toastmasters if I'm going to win. So I appreciate that so much. So thank you.
And for the contest, you want to say back to you, Madam Toastmaster or Mr. Toastmaster. That's all.
And thank you, Cindy, for what to say.
Yeah, that's the only time I don't say thank you. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluators.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. We have one more evaluator, and that is Michelle to evaluate Hank Cartwright. Michelle Waufle to evaluate Hank Cartwright.
And Hank, I first want to start off with a complete and total apology, because I ran in from work and just came on to this, and I did not have the proper way to introduce you. You amazing. ICU nurse. So I just want to apologize to you for that, first and foremost.
You did right. You
Out
did
of
correct.
respect.
You did correct because the Toastmaster actually introduced the speaker, so you did the right thing.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. I am just learning, so I want to make sure I'm doing it right. I was a part of Toastmasters for a long time and just came back. So I first want to just say, I loved your intro. I love your enthusiasm, and you know, this is such a hard topic, and you make it easy to listen to the topic because of the way that you present. Because most of the time, this would be just like a hard thing to be in the ICU and during COVID, and you kind of take that away by giving us the information without bringing us down, which I love, because you're sharing a story that is really nothing that, you know, nobody really wants to go through, but you do it in a way where you're not bringing us down. So I really appreciate that. I like the way that you have really great eye contact and amazing hand gestures, like just washing the hands and it's up to here, and you're really like bringing your hand gestures and your body language is really, really great. I would add a little bit more vocal variety. You definitely had some different vocal variety coming up, but not so much well, changing up a little bit during that, but also just pausing in between these stories, because you're going from one to the next. And if you just kind of just relax a little bit and just, because it stops everyone and brings people in. So just taking those breaths would be really, really great. And you know, the emotion, we really are affected emotionally by everything that you're saying, and you bringing us into the room with you. Very, very descriptive. Your audience awareness, I would just pay a little bit more attention to the audience, and especially the timer, because you went way over time. So being able to just maybe before you start kind of check in and be aware of the timer, so you kind of have a way to just like check in the middle of when you take that breath in between your stories, check in with the timer and kind of see where you're at with things. I thought you had an amazing comfort level. Sharing the story seems very comfortable for you. And I think you did a really great job. I'm seeing you improve every time. So great job. And back to you, Master Toastmaster. Or General Evaluator.
Thank you, Michelle. Great job. Great job. Okay, now we're going to have our timers report. Shaquille, take it away.
Yeah, it was a very, very amazing session. You can say learning, first of all, how to evaluate and all this. So I would like to share you the timings of the prepared speeches first. First of all, it was Toastmaster Demary Shiking. She took 15 minutes and 12 seconds for her speech. It was very well within time limits. And the question answer sessions, she took 8 minutes and 30 seconds. That was just spot on. She also qualified. Moving to the next speaker, we had Michelle Waufle, Toastmaster Michelle Waufle. I hope I pronounced your name right.
Yes, it is.
She took 7 minutes and 15 seconds, well within time and qualified. Then we had Toastmaster Henry Cartwright. He was slightly over time. He took 10 minutes and 12 seconds. Then we have a very, very fascinating table topics. Toastmaster Barbara Mariano was there. She took 2 minutes and 3 seconds within time limits. Then we have a guest, Shehan Paul, the Toastmaster from Sri Lanka. He took 2 minutes and 26 seconds, very well within time. Then we have a senior Toastmaster, Mike Pruitt. He took 1 minute and 24 seconds. Then we have a very good evaluation session. First of all, it was Mike Pruitt, Toastmaster Mike Pruitt. He took 3 minutes and 33 seconds, 3 seconds overtime. Then we had a round robin evaluation, and DTM Cynthia Stott did it really well. She took 3 minutes and 23 for the evaluation comments from all of us. And the third evaluator was again Toastmaster Michelle Waufle. She took 3 minutes and 7 seconds well within time. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Shaquille. Great job. Now, the general evaluator has a chance to give an overall evaluation of the meeting. I thought we had some wonderful speeches, and we had some wonderful tabletop questions and wonderful answers. And we had some great evaluations, and we had people from all over the world that came to visit with us. That was wonderful, wonderful. Now, I just want to say it's a new year. We're thinking maybe about New Year's resolutions. And, you know, most people, they think about exercise. One of their what was your New Year's resolution about exercise? You know, my wife tells me I don't get enough exercise, but I told her that I get lots of exercise. You know what I do? I add fuel to the fire. I balance the books, beat around the bush, bend over backwards, climb the walls, get the ball rolling, jump to conclusions, jump on the bandwagon, make mountains out of molehills, push my luck, put my foot in my mouth, and after all that, you know what I do? Pick up the pieces. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much. Wow, this is an excellent meeting. Is Wes around? Because she's one of our officers. If she could close us out, that would be amazing. Yeah, Wes. You want to say goodbye to our guests and get their experience? Can you see anybody? Let's see. We have a guest.
Good evening, everyone. I was listening to all of you. I love the speeches and I love the topic. I love 3 speeches I enjoyed. I love the meeting. And our guest, thank you, our timer. And from Sri Lanka, I love your story when you are 80 years old. The advice you're going to give, I really enjoy. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Great meeting, everyone. Awesome. Have a good night. I'm sorry, or good morning, good day, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Mike, you're an amazing comedian. I just have to say that. Don't give up on your dream.
That's right.
Have a blessed night, everyone. Bye-bye.
Very funny. Thank you all.
Hey, Michelle. Oh, Michelle. Michelle, are you there? Oh, she left. All right.
Good.
Okay. Hey, Mike, how are you?
Good.
Let's stop the recording.
All right. Well, I'm an old member here. I've been out of town and